343 head of design Jerry Hook recently confirmed that the company plans to make changes to Halo Infinite's store. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the details and discussing what this could mean for the future of the game going forward. So how's it going, Magpies? I'm Magpie Leon, and let's jump straight in. So last night, he went on to make quite an extensive tweet discussing some of the things that they plan on changing. He opened the tweet by saying, "We've been monitoring the discussions on the shop bundles and pricing closely since launch. Using data and community feedback, we're going to be rolling out changes to how we package and price items in Halo Infinite, and it all starts next week." He then continued to say, "Starting Tuesday, the shop experience will vary week to week. We are focused on reducing pricing across the board, providing stronger values in our bundles, starting to put individual items outside of bundles, and more." He then closed out by saying, "We will be trying new things throughout the rest of the season so that we can continue to learn and improve for the future. Please keep the feedback coming during this process, and I hope to see you all next week for the Cyber Showdown event." So overall, although brief, this tweet definitely gave us some insight into the things 343 are planning, and gives you enough to be excited for. Now, as most of you know, I've been covering the shop on a daily basis and giving my thoughts on a lot of these bundles, determining whether or not I believe the prices are worth that specific bundle, and several times I've said how I wanted to be able to buy individual items, as sometimes you'll see items in a bundle that you might like, but you don't like the rest of the content that comes with it. I've also stated several times how I think some of the bundles are quite good, and others are just really not worth the money. So it's good to hear that 343 are lowering prices and adding individual items, and basically fixing a lot of complaints that I personally had. Now, I imagine even after these updates, things probably won't be perfect and it will still have issues, but the fact that 343 is showing they care and listening to community feedback is enough to make me happy. Now let's dive into some things that we could expect and things that we might not get in terms of the update. Now, when they say they're cutting prices down, I don't know if this necessarily means all new bundles will have lower prices, or if this means they're going to be reducing prices of bundles that already exist in game. If the latter is true, I can see that having issues, as some people will more than likely want to be refunded the money that they spent on bundles. For example, if someone brought the Hazard armor set, which cost 2,000 credits, and that's reduced to 1,000, people would expect to get their other 1,000 credits back. I'm not saying this won't happen, but it's entirely possible that if these bundles are reduced, that you might not receive your money back, or these bundles might not be reduced entirely. I think it's also possible to see that maybe with some of these bundles, instead of having their prices cut back, new items are included to make them worth that original price point. I definitely think this is a possible option due to Jerry stating they want to provide stronger values in our bundles. So I believe this could mean that in future, armor sets that cost 2,000 credits might actually be full armor sets rather than only seeming like half. Another really cool thing is that we'll be seeing individual items in the shop. Now, I don't know if this specifically means that items in bundles already can be brought individually, or if this just means new items will be added as individual items. It would be cool if we get the option to buy something like the Anubis helmet separately away from the rest of the bundle for those that just want the helmet. There's definitely been several bundles in the game where I've looked at them and thought, I really like this item, but I'm not paying this price for the rest of the stuff that I won't use. Weapon charms are a good example. There's the little chibi chief weapon charm that I thought looked great, but I wasn't really bothered about the rest of the items in the bundle, therefore I didn't spend my money on it. Or something like the legend visor, which overall I think the bundle was overpriced, but the visor itself was really cool. There's even some items that I think we've seen in-game that might actually apply to this individual bundle thing, or individual item thing they said they planned on doing. Like the Banished Deception Wasp coating, which upon first glance I thought was available in campaign, but upon further inspection, it says that more details coming soon, which usually just means it's a shop item. Now, it's possible this might just be an individual item that you can buy on the shop. I'm definitely interested to see what some of the prices for the individual items will be, alongside the new improved bundles. This might mean future armor sets are reduced by quite a significant amount. However, at the same time, I do think that people shouldn't get their hopes up too high in the sense that some people believe some of the armor sets will be reduced drastic amounts. I doubt a 2,000 credit armor set is going to go down to like 500 credits or something along those lines. I reckon you'll see a reduction of maybe 500 to 1,000 credits if we're lucky. I have a lot of faith in 343 and I know they'll do right by the community, but at the same time I can't really see some of these bundles having huge drastic changes, although they could surprise me, and that's really what I hope for. If anything, I'm more excited for future bundles. We've seen some of the leaked content and some of it looks really good, and it's nice knowing that some of these bundles aren't going to be absurdly overpriced. As a content creator that covers the shop regularly, it gives me a lot to look forward to, and as a fan of the game that likes wasting his money, it also gives me even more to look forward to. Like, some of the leaked bundles coming for the Cyber Showdown event look amazing, and it's nice knowing that they might not be out of my price range. I really hope they address some key points, for example some of the Reach armor being more expensive than the Mark 7 armor, which I find really strange. Like the smaller bundles that contain like shoulder pads and a coating, the Mark 7 ones tend to cost 500, whereas the Reach ones cost 700, whereas really the Reach ones should be cheaper as you have to own the Battle Pass too. The same applies for armor sets, like how the Anubis set cost 2000 credits, but so did the Hazard one, even though the Hazard one required you having the Battle Pass, therefore making that price seem more like 3000. And I hope things like this are addressed and something like the Hazard set is cheaper than the Anubis set due to the fact that you have to own the Battle Pass. One final thing of note is regarding a comment that someone made, suggesting that 343 wouldn't have to do this at all if there was a way to earn credits in-game. Now, I agree with this statement. I believe credits should be earnable, or at least some sort of free currency. I made a whole video on that topic, and we'll probably be talking about it again in the future. But Jerry responded to this comment, suggesting that they need to do both, that 343 need to do both of these things, reducing prices and making the store overall more user-friendly, as well as having earnable credits in-game, and I couldn't agree more. I think some sort of free currency, whether that be earnable credits or something else like how Gears 5 has its iron and copper, I think that's something that needs to be there in order to make fans happy. It gives players the chance, players that are playing for free, that have no intention of spending money on the multiplayer, it gives them a chance to really make their spawns look cool, even if that does take time. As long as these things are earnable, then people will stay happy. I have faith in 343 and I know they will do right by the community. The game may have been off to a rough start, but I think in the future things really are going to improve and things are looking bright. But that sums up everything I've got to talk about today, folks. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here. We're aiming for 1,000 subs by the end of the year, and I think that's a very achievable goal. The support on the channel at the minute has been amazing. I cannot thank you all enough. But anyway, folks, that's all from me, and I'll catch you in the next one.